blog and website from the very beginning, or was that something that came a little later as you started?
Yeah, it came later, probably about, I started the blog in like 2013.
Okay.
So yeah, about 3 years after. I had some other smaller blogs and just I dabbled in it a little bit, but then in 2013 was when I really, kicked that off. And the idea was really to start to share. I felt more, confident about my knowledge of personal finance at that point. And we had paid off a pretty good, probably about half of our debt at that point. So I thought it would be important to share our story with Dad and what we were doing with others, on a blog, because that it might help inspire or give some information to somebody looking to do something similar.
And so you still have the site, and what's the reception been like?
It's been good. I mean, running a blog is obviously, having a blog or a podcast or any type of content creation is you need readers or listeners or viewers. So it was a rough start early on, because I was learning how to really run the blog. So I had to learn a little bit more of the technical side of it, which was okay. But then it was a slow growth. But, occasionally I would get emails from, readers saying with questions or asking, about other resources. So that was really a validation and helped really motivate me to keep going, because I knew I was reaching people and helping people in similar situations. So that was kind of the reward of running the blog.
Yes, definitely. Anybody can help. And I'm sure you made connections. I see you interviewed other people who run similar sites and blogs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty large personal finance community, a number of bloggers, podcasters, video creators. There's actually a yearly personal finance convention that's run that I've attended a few times. So yeah, it's a great community, and there's a lot of different voices that are sharing personal finance information. So I think if you're somebody that's looking for information, regardless of your whether you're married or single or your age or what you're looking to improve your information on, there's a website or a podcast out there that you could read or listen to that could help you.
I think personally that it should be taught in schools, because think about it. A lot of the stuff we learn we don't really utilize, but everybody is going to utilize and deal with and spend or invest money at some point in their lives. Everybody, right?
Yeah, no, it's a life skill, right? You use money your entire life. So it's something that I totally agree that we should be teaching it in our schools. And I've actually worked with my local school district to help put together a financial literacy program.
Yes.
So that they're teaching now in the elementary, middle, and high school. And our high school has a full year personal finance class. One of the goals we were trying to push for was to make it a mandatory class for graduation. But that hasn't happened, but the class is available. And there are, like I said, there are curriculum that's being taught at each of the different grade levels to help prepare students for dealing with money when they're older.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Should be nationwide thing for sure. Was there something that was the hardest to pay off during this time for you?
No, I don't think so. I think once the first couple months were tough because you're getting used to, like I said, change in behaviors and managing your money a little bit different than the way you were. But during so we started in June of 2010 and we paid off our debt in September, I think, 2015. So there was a lot of bumps in the road, ups and downs over that time. My wife was in a car accident. She was out of work for a period of time. So we managed that. a lot better than we would have if we did not have a plan for our money, because we saw her, income, get lost for a period of time. But, the goal was just to make sure that she was healthy and okay. So we were able to just kind of adjust our budget and deal with that. And then eventually she, was healthy and went back to work. And then we were able to readjust the budget when we had more income coming in. So, but the having the plan for our money, really made that just a really slight inconvenience. We were able to kind of just adjust,
So you were debt free. How did that feel? I mean, even as you were approaching that, you said, "Oh wow, next month," or it was like, "Oh, next month, that's it, right?"
Yeah, no, it was exciting to be able to reach that point. It was kind of the almost 5 years of hard work finally paying off. So it was a great moment, and felt like we had accomplished so much to reach the end goal. So yeah, it was great. We ended up taking, after that, we went on a family vacation that we had saved money for and paid for in cash. And so it was the first time, I think forever, that we had, done that, been able to save for the vacation. And the vacation was such a great vacation because, like I said, we didn't come home and have to worry about a vacation hangover that we had now, this, a couple $1,000s worth of debt that we had to figure out how to pay off. So everything was prepaid, and it was just the vacation was that much more enjoyable.
So you set aside a certain amount, saying, "This is what we spend on the vacation, nothing more."
Well, yeah, we had booked, we went actually down to Universal Studios. So, we kind of had planned airfare and, how much the staying and park tickets and all of those things. So a lot of it was predetermined. So we could save, all of that ahead of time and pay it off. And then, the only other thing was really discretionary spending, eating out. So, we set a budget, but we still did, we still tried to save money where we could. We weren't reckless. We bought and brought with us like reusable water bottles. We packed snacks, so that we weren't always tempted to go and buy the, $7 brownie at the shop.
Yeah.
So, we still tried to be smart about how we were spending our money. So, just not being reckless.
Did you have a separate account that you drew this from? Or, I mean, you didn't really actually bring all that in cash. I mean, obviously you could charge stuff to a debit card that.
Yeah. So we basically set up a separate account as a vacation savings account. And just, a lot of it was predetermined. We knew, all right, well, if we were going to spend 5 days at the park, here's what tickets cost. Yeah. Here's what hotel would cost. So we knew, we kind of had a goal. All right, we need to save, X amount of money and put it in that account and have it, so that when we have to pay for the bill, that it's, we have the cash on hand.
Right. And that's the way everybody should do their vacations.
Yeah. And like I said, it makes them a lot more enjoyable.
Now, I'm wondering, when someone has all the debt, should they really get rid of all the debt first? Or should they concentrate on also building wealth? What do you think?
Well, it's really, and that's why they call it personal finance, because it's really a personal choice. There's a lot of different methods that you can use. Budgeting, debt snowball. So it's really going to depend on your personal situation. I think it's easier to, focus on one thing at the time. So we were focusing on getting rid of our debt. We had a very small cash savings, about $1,000 as an emergency fund throughout that time when we were paying off debt, so that if, the flat tire came up or something broke in the home, we had money to be able to, we didn't have to go back into debt to fix it. We had some cash to be able to address it. And that worked for us. Others may feel more comfortable with having, more cash on hand when they're paying off their debt. Certainly this year we've seen with the COVID virus and job loss, there's certainly uncertainty out there. So it really, it's, like I said, it's really a personal decision that what works best for you and what you're comfortable with.
We should definitely have an emergency fund. That is
Yes,
very
yeah,
important.
because you just don't know when the unexpected will happen. And life kind of has a way of punching you in the face every once in a while.
Yep. Car repair or emergency comes up, so be prepared. At least a good chunk has to be saved. And what made you want to start going out and speaking about your story at libraries and schools?
It was really, again, just sharing our story. I saw the change in our family, from going, not having a plan for our money and being in $100,000 worth of debt to the other side of it, where we were, out of debt, had a plan, were able to save for things that we wanted. And I could just see the change in stress in ourselves and in the family. We didn't worry about things as much because, we had a plan. So it was really, I wanted to be able to share that with others, to hopefully give others the motivation and hopefully change their own situation. I think it's, there's a lot of people that can benefit from that.
So was it something that was posted at a library or school, or you just started looking around and seeing where can I speak?
Yeah, so I thought the library would be, and one of the reasons why we were so connected to our library over the last couple of years is that was one of the free entertainment options that you have. Right, your local library has tons of books, videos, magazines, classes. So we really leveraged our library as one of our entertainment, low cost, almost free entertainment options throughout our debt repayment. So. And I knew that our local library would often have speakers come in or classes. So I basically just approached them and said, I'd like to be able to share my, personal story about how my family and I got out of debt. I think it would be, motivating to others to hear the story and hopefully, point them to resources within the library, plenty of, books and that about personal finance that they could read. So. And the library was very receptive, and that's how it kind of started. And after speaking at my local library one or two times, then I started reaching out to other libraries on Long Island, and many were receptive, and so that's how it kind of grew from there.
All right, and you also offer financial consulting services? I see it listed on your site.
Yeah, I do. I do coach some individuals, if they need additional help. So, working with, helping them, build a budget or looking at their overall spending. So a variety of different things. But really, it's really just one-on-one, coaching. I don't sell anything. I don't, tell them how to invest. But it's really more about just giving them some overall, knowledge on their personal situation and some ideas of how they can improve it.
Well, you say it's personal finance, but obviously people should build wealth. Investing is an important part of it. It should be a mix of things. I mean, is that how you approached it?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we've talked about emergency funds, so cash savings. I think that's where it initially starts, right? You want to have some cushion in your savings account so that when, the unexpected happens, or, if there's goals that you're working towards, vacations or purchase, that you're saving that money. But yeah, sure, you have to look at it long term. We all want to retire and not have to work. And so you need to have a plan for that. You need to save money towards that, whether it's in a company sponsored, 401k, or whether you're doing it on your own. You have to look at it from a long-term plan. So investing is really, the best option to be able to build, wealth, for, over a lifetime.
And some artists will start not wanting to think about it, but, if you're going to start your own, let's just say, paint party business, or even breaking out as an actor, you have to save money for headshots and acting classes. Artists don't want to think about money, but they should. Have you ever had to consult with artists?
I have not. I've not. I don't think at least not that I'm aware of, that somebody was an artist. But my daughter is pursuing art as a career. She